Thank you, Senator. Senator Kelly, 5 minutes.
Minister, I want to welcome the bill before the House and compliment you on many of your educational initiatives since taking office, and you have our full support in this House. I was delighted to hear you say that Solas will not be a rebranded FÁS. And my understanding was that Solas was going to be an agency that was going to sit down with former Community Welfare Officer Service and the Social Welfare Service, and that we're all going to work together to get people either back to work or back to retraining. Now, I'm not quite sure if that system is up and running as we speak, but I do have an example of where it should be up and running, and the kind of bureaucratic nonsense that does go on. For instance, I have a young fella who qualifies for the Back to Education allowance on age grounds. He is long-term unemployed. He's over 2 years on the dole. He failed 2 subjects in his Leaving Cert, and while he was long-term unemployed and on the dole, he decided to online study physics and mathematics. Now, he was available on all occasions to take up work if it was offered to him. But he decided to study because he failed those 2 exams. He then, on one occasion when he had his study done, and he was doing this at night at home, he decided he was going to do the GSE exam in the UK. So he spent 1 day in the UK doing the exam and passing the exam. Then he decided to come back and apply for the Back to Education allowance, and he was told that he's not long enough out of mainstream education, despite the fact that he's 2 years on the dole. And what they're basically saying to him is that they won't give him the Back to Education allowance, but that they'll leave him on the dole. They'll give him the same amount of money to sit at home and do nothing. So this is the type of bureaucratic nonsense that has been going on. And the only point I would be making, Minister, is that I don't think that we should be finding excuses to deprive people of further education. That particular instance doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense. And I'd like if yourself and Minister Burton would kind of get together on these kind of issues and make sure that these people are not deprived of further education, under that kind of nonsense ruling. Thank you, Minister.